Goeiedag en welkom. My name is Amareiske, and this is episode 1 of my series Neurons, in which I will talk about the autism challenges I face, and I will say now already, sorry for all the sounds. I think people above me are building or renovating their house, or maybe on the street something is happening. Anywho, I really have to film this now because otherwise I won't have time to. So let's get started with the challenges I face. And I have my notes down here, which is just a little list of the challenges I wanted to mention. Ending off with something a little bit more positive maybe. Challenge 1 is eye contact, or more specifically, proper eye contact. I have issues with proper eye contact. If you look at the length in which you can look people in the eye, but also when and where to look. For example, my little sister, when we go out and drink coffee somewhere, I sometimes look towards her mouth for long stretches of time, and sometimes I look to her shoulder or towards the wall, and I won't even notice, I won't think it's strange, but she mentions, why are you looking at my mouth? Why are you looking at my bust? Which sometimes somehow happens as well. Or, why don't you look at me? It looks like, or it sounds like she might not really understand what's happening, and I don't understand why it doesn't work the same with me as it does with her. But I can really help it. It's the way it is. It has been, I think, worse before when I was younger. So, it gets better. Just like the next challenge I face, which is inflection and intonation of words. I used to speak incredibly monotonous and not even be able to hear it. Now, on the other hand, I hear it. I speak monotonous, but I also did not tend to hear if someone else was speaking monotonously, which I do hear now. And I hear it better when people are singing, so in lyrics of songs. But I still have trouble with it. Like, if I sing, I hear I'm not hitting the right notes, but I am not hearing I sing relatively monotonously. And I think that will always stay. I mean, I can practice, but it's just something I don't really hear. So how do you practice listening and hearing something that you cannot really hear? In my case, it gets better when I'm more relaxed and more in tune with myself, like now. That's why it got better, why I hear more, why I tend to become better at it. And I spoke about that with other people who noticed it somewhat or a lot as well. But I think it will be remaining a trouble throughout my life. I can practice getting better at it, of course, because I know it's something I find difficult. But sometimes it just ends at the top you can get to. And of course, doing the best you can is great. But if it still leaves you with a lot of troubles and difficulties, that's not always the thing you want to feel, hear, or experience. You want to have not to go through all these problems at all. You just want to be you, and you want to be able to function in society, which I only partly can do, which is quite sad. But hey, it is what it is, and I can work on making it better, so let's go on to... I also struggle a lot with my impulse sensitivity. I'm sensitive to bright or flashing lights, or both. Most of the times it's both. For example, if you're at a concert and the light is flashing brightly like a stroboscope, I almost go insane in my head because of those kinds of lights, so I always close my eyes when I see it. I'm also very sensitive to high-pitched sounds, loud sounds, and touch. And over-impulsing can mean that I will get depressed in the end. In the beginning I just get very, very tired and headachy up to extremely severe migraines, which I still struggle from a lot. But it can end up in like a depression, which it has done several times before. And I never knew where it came from. I always also thought that like my tiredness and my general lack of energy was because that was just me. Although I felt on the inside that I did have energy and I actually did want to do things. I just completely was drained, not of physical, but of mental energy. I just mentally couldn't do anything. And the last year, in which I took more time and space for myself to discover me, I actually discovered that it was because I have been over-impulsed probably for my entire life, but I remember it from the age of 8 or 9, having chronic headaches and migraines, being always tired, never wanting to do anything except for go to school, which I really enjoyed doing, because I enjoy learning, and I will always enjoy learning, but also I did not want to do anything except for like hang on the couch, and when it was like miserable wet weather, raining, storming, I wanted to go outside, but who lets the kid go outside when it storms, right? That's and also nobody wanted to play in that weather, so why? What would you do? I just if I was with friends, we were going to play inside, which was also fine. Like then the next problem could come in, which is having troubles with normal conversation. Like I mentioned before, I have trouble with eye contact, and I think people who have been following me for a longer amount of time, or even maybe it's obvious as well in this video, I have trouble with making eye contact. But I also have trouble, especially if the group of people I talk with is larger than like me and 1, 2, or 3 other people. I don't really know when to say something. I also have troubles with how to say it because, I mean, I tend to be very honest and very straightforward, but that does not mean I want to hurt people. So I want to say this thing I want to say without hurting people if possible, but it's just very hard to think of me sometimes how to then say it, even though it is completely untrue that what people say, that autistic people cannot feel compassion, they cannot envision what someone feels. That is not actually the case. We can feel compassion towards other people, and it might even be more intense than normal people feel it, because our emotions are experienced differently. And they come differently, and we don't always understand what we are feeling, which is also something I have trouble with. And yeah, this were the things I have trouble with, and then also something that has a little bit more of a positive note to it. You can see it as a trouble, but also like it has to do with the ADHD. What is called in ADHD is a hyperfocus. What is naturally a hyperfocus is that you can dive completely and utterly into topics you are completely interested in and suck up all the information and all the knowledge you can gather about it, and you can do it relatively easily, which is why I never tend to have trouble understanding theoretical concepts. At least I don't have trouble with most of them. I can understand everything, or a lot of stuff, not everything, but a lot of stuff quite easily. And I tend to be able to explain it theoretically as well, but practically doing it, like for example, if you have to do math, I understand the concepts and the principles, but I have to practice a lot to get it right. And the same goes for physics, and strangely enough, not for chemistry. That was just I flew through it basically. I did practice, of course, because without practice, it doesn't get perfect. But yet, it tended to be quite easy as long as I did my exercises. And also because I can completely dive into something, I can stay focused on those for a long amount of time. But if I am not interested in something, I have the biggest trouble of focusing, which is then also amplified by my ADHD. But that is for another more story time type listy video I will upload in this series. And now I'll say thank you for watching and on to the keer!